Welcome to our podcast that has earned recognition in both 2019 and again in 2020 as one of the best podcasts in marketing research. Welcome to Research Business Daily Report. And if you'd like to lend your support to our video efforts, please go to RBDR's exclusive community at the crowdfunding platform patreon.com/RBDR. This is Bob Lederer for more than 25 years, the respected voice in market research. Susan Fader delivered our series-ending RBDR series Market Research in the COVID-19 Era a few short weeks ago, but today she's back, and this qualitative researcher par excellence offers an unusual perspective on what to do when your standard focus group fails to yield results that either satisfy nor benefit your research client. Fader suggests that an alternative, a rationale for shifting to counterintuitive thinking in your qualitative. And she explains three ways in which that thinking is applicable. Susan?
Thanks, Bob. During COVID-19, technology has really been a lifesaver for the world of market research, but we need to recognize this technological focus is primarily in the executional and analytical parts of market research and not the upfront beginning of how we design a market research study. So what we need is something I call counterintuitive thinking, which focuses on reframing baseline assumptions. It's not something that you use for every research study you do. It's for when you're stuck, like you've done the research and you come up with nothing. You're like a car stuck in mud with the tires spinning, not going anywhere. And if you use counterintuitive thinking, it's going to help you get unstuck and move forward. So counterintuitive thinking has three components. The first one is who you have designed and lead the research. The second is who are the people you recruit and talk to. And the third is where we start the conversation. So number one, so many times we default to using an expert or someone with experience in the category or product or service when we're picking someone who's going to lead and design the overall methodological approach. What counterintuitive thinking says is maybe if you're stuck and not going anywhere, you consider using someone who does not have that category demographic expertise to lead the research. And that's because of the Eisenloch effect. And the Eisenloch effect refers to a person's predisposition to solve a given problem in a specific manner, even though a better or more appropriate method of solving the problem exists. So David Epstein in his book Range gives a very vivid explanation of what the Eisenloch effect is by using ditch digging. Yeah, ditch digging. What he says is experts tend to dig very deep and wide ditches. They're so deep they can't look over the side. So when they're looking for an answer, they only look for the answer in the ditch within their expertise. But generalists tend to know a lot of things. Their ditches are not as deep as the experts, so they can look over the side, and they have many, many, many ditches. So they can get the answers or from different sources to find a solution. They're just not stuck within one area. And in fact, you look at US patents, the people who have the most patents are generalists who have patents in many, many, many different categories. So number two, recruiting. So many companies end up talking to the same demographics over and over again. The loyal customers, potential customers, but sometimes it helps to really shake things up. So an example of counterintuitive recruiting is something I did for a jewelry company for an engagement ring study. So who did I talk to? I talked to people who had bought engagement rings, but I didn't talk to people who were going to get married. I talked to people who had broken their engagements. So they were pretty raw, and they really, in terms of what they said, they were more honest in a way, and they really just needed to get it out and to talk. And we got a lot more detail, a lot more insight. So the third is where you start the conversation. And counterintuitive thinking is about sometimes you have to retrace your steps. So what do I mean by that? So a study we did for new product concepts for heavy users of fabric softeners. And even though the client had tons of research, past research on laundry and fabric softeners, and they didn't want to reinvent the wheel, what I had them do is I had the participants, before they came to the research study, to do a self-diagnostic ethnography on themselves. So while they were doing laundry, I wanted them to, at home, I wanted them to come up with the 3 things they liked best and 3 things they liked least about doing laundry. And why laundry? Because fabric softener resides in the world of laundry. And they did a 3-dimensional collage, and they came in and they presented it. And guess what? A number of these heavy, loyal users of this brand of fabric softener didn't even mention fabric softener in their stories of laundry. So think about it. If you're doing a new concept or new product study, and you start with the assumption where the conversation starts on fabric softener as opposed to laundry, you're going to come out with these people in totally different places. Because if you're talking about fabric softener as opposed to people who didn't even mention fabric softener, the results are different. So thanks for listening. I have a lot more examples of different ways of thinking about that upfront development of market research. And I'm happy to share them with you, and feel free to reach out. Thanks, Bob.
That's a wrap on today's Research Business Daily Report. We want to thank you for watching RBDR, whether it's occasionally or every day. Many of you seem to find RBDR time well spent, so there's no reason for you to ever hesitate to share any of our videos to a friend or a peer. And we hope you'll consider becoming an RBDR Patreon supporter, which you can do at patreon.com/RBDR. Have a great research day, and we hope that this research week is a productive one for you. Let's all have a nice weekend. Now, we're sad to report that our one-man IT department has contracted the coronavirus, and as a result, we're going to hold off on producing new RBDRs for the next week and maybe beyond that. However, I will select some of our best underviewed videos from this year for you to actually generate some benefit. So we'll keep you informed, and in the meantime, we urge you to do your best to stay safe.